Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Who you with Kirk? I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. I'm 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 Who You With Kirk, dog. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk, dog. Who You With Kirk, dog. I want to welcome everyone to the show tonight. Hopefully you had a great day today. I want to welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is always in the house. And also Anchor FM. You can follow the show also on Anchor FM on all your platforms that you use to listen to your podcast. So you can also follow us on there. Tonight, we're going to hit on a couple of stories, update on the R. Kelly trial. And then I don't know if y'all seen this video going around. They call him Shaq Brewster, a young reporter out of for NBC News. He was confronted while doing a live show, a live broadcast in Gulfport, Mississippi on Tropical Storm Ida, and was approached by a crazy person. So we'll talk about that too. Nikkita Brown. I seen this story yesterday, but I was trying to find out more information because it wasn't sure if it was a security officer or a police officer. Well, today it came out it is a police officer, and that attacked his sister for no reason. And then he just kind of walk off like it wasn't nothing. So we're going to discuss that tonight also. So hopefully y'all are ready and ready to get this party started. So what's going on? Radio Chaos is in the house. How you doing today? Hopefully you had a great birthday, a great weekend. Oh, well, you told me you got a new phone for your birthday, so that's a good thing. So my days are running together, but glad to have you on the show, always supporting the show. So we're going to talk about this R. Kelly trial. Man, it's not looking good. Not looking good at all, which like I told people before, when it come down to R. Kelly, you want to hold on to all of the great music that he made in the past, because I don't see him getting out of this. I really don't. So we're gonna get on that. I don't know what happened to my story. Hold on real quick. Let me pull it back up. Computer doing funny things today. But so basically had someone that was part of it testifying about some of the things that was going on in the chocolate factory, which I don't know if that was a pretty good CD, the chocolate factory, but this came out today. Recently news surfaced from R. Kelly trial reportedly claiming that he said he was a genius entitled to sex with young girls. The testimony came from a third victim who spoke on the 6-month relationship when she started in 1990.
Now, witnesses have come forward to describe Kelly's Chicago studio that he referred to as the Chocolate Factory. A new former A few former employees of Kelly said the singer made rules for his Illinois mansion. Anthony Navarro worked as a runner for Kelly in 2007 and described the studio as the Twilight Zone. He went on to say, when you went into the gate like you're in this different world, that was just a state, a strange place. He continued to He continued saying guests on the property weren't allowed to roam around the property without their permissions, and they weren't supposed to be wandering around. They had to get permission to do most things. They have to call either down to the studio or get a hold of Rob if they wanted anything like food or things like that. Stay tuned for more update. So in this one article I read earlier, the young lady mentioned she started dating him when she was 17. And that's why I say R. Kelly is going to have a hard time trying to get out of this one. Um, I don't see him getting out of it because he's just a dirty old man. Ain't no other way of putting it. He's just a old dirty old man that like little kids, and he should pay the price for it. You do stuff like that, you should be held accountable for it. And I had no sympathy for you. Radio said he may have thought he was a genius, but his judgment when it came to women is completely screwed up. Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, I seen this brief interview the other day. It surfaced. It came out when the group that he used to be in, public announcement, I believe it was. I don't have the story right in front of me, but it came out that one of the members left the group because of what he seen with R. Kelly and Aaliyah, allegedly seen with R. Kelly and Aaliyah. Well, wouldn't be allegedly because another group member actually told about it and said that R. Kelly was like, "Where is he?" He said he left because he seen you and Aaliyah in the bus. He said, "What they have to do with him?" So R. Kelly allegedly told the man that, "Hey, I'll pay y'all what I owe him and continue to pay you." Like, oh well, he didn't deny it or anything like that. So if you get the opportunity, I'm sure you can find that video online. Public, I believe it's public announcement. The group that R. Kelly used to be in, and very disturbing. So it's been going on for a pretty long time, and I think he pretty much had his wits end. His career is already over, but as for seeing daylight again in the free world, I don't see it. He's facing up to life in prison, so I don't see him doing that at all. Um, so hopefully, best work out for him. Either that or don't drop the soap. Um, but R. Kelly, he's in a bad situation, and it's nobody's fault but his own. Because you should have had enough sense not to mess around with these little girls. And actually, this came out Thursday during the Thursday court proceeding. A third victim, R. Kelly, testified about their 6-month relationship, which began in 1990 when she was 17. 17. According to the woman identified as Stephanie Kelly, was undeterred. Is that his one? When learning she was underage, she described being a low point in her life during that time after suffering through sexual trauma prior to connecting with the disgraced singer. Stephanie told the courtroom she felt used and humiliated and degraded after dealing with Kelly. "I have never been treated like that before or since. He He humiliated me, degraded me, he scared me. I'll never forget the way he treated me, she said. He was either very nice and charming, or he was very controlling and intimidating. Adding, he could put the fear of God in me very quickly. She also recalled a 1999 dinner where he went on a rant about the stigma behind dating younger women. Stephanie said he mentioned that he liked very young girls and that people make such a big deal of it. Even look at Jerry Lee Lewis. He is a genius and I'm a genius. We should be allowed to do whatever we want. He allegedly said, look at what we give the world. Yeah, but that's still a crime. Uh, Unfortunately, you're going to have to pay for it. And what you having to pay for it, hey, your career is already suffering. And matter of fact, it came out last week. He's trying to sell his catalog uh, to be able to pay his legal fees, and nobody would buy it. Nobody would buy it. Maybe in uh, 10 to 20 years, somebody might be like, "Hey, I got R. Kelly music, got his catalog," and probably worth something then, but I don't think he'll get half of what he's asking for. I don't know what the price is, but in the future, it might be a good investment. Buy it cheap and sell it high, because he did make some great music. Um, but with what's going on now, nah, um, he's gonna suffer for a while. So we'll see how this work out with him. Um, I was I was strolling around today online, and how much time do we have on? I keep forgetting about Anchor. Don't let loud certain at the time. Then I have to reset it. So um, looking around today, and I'm like, okay, looking online and ran across this story, and people do this all the time. Kind of like last night, I was saying people was talking about how serious the storm wasn't. It wasn't that bad, and all of this, and now over 1 million people is without electricity in New Orleans. Um, I even seen the video in one part of Louisiana where um, that's when the tree fell on the house. And they said, luckily, in the video, they did say, luckily, their neighbors was not at home. So, but people still feel like the storm wasn't that bad. It's like a lot of other things in this world. When certain people say things, they say, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as they think they are." And you never know, because you never know where you are. It may not seem that bad, but what about all the other people having to deal with it? All the homes that been destroyed. Um, Only I've heard it was one person that was killed, and they investigating another killing. They don't know if it's caused by the storm or if it was something else. But at least it wasn't a lot of lives being lost like Katrina 16 years ago. But still, uh, you cannot say the storm is not bad just because it's not bad in your area. Look at the destruction that is going through all these cities, and uh, it's a lot of damage have been done, which is going to cost a lot of money to get fixed. And uh, the National Guard have been deployed to Louisiana. Um, I don't know if they have a curfew, but I'm quite sure they have. But they have been deployed to helping the cleanup of it. But I hate when, I know hate is a bad word, but I don't like to hear when people say, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's not like they said it was going to be." Well, you at the beginning of the storm. It may not be that bad, but by the time that I make it there, it could be worse than what it was at first. And that's just disturbing. And then you had this fool in GulfPort, Mississippi. Um, I've been researching, trying to find out his name. Um, he confronted Shaq Brewster on live television today as he was reporting on Tropical Storm Ida in the coast of Mississippi. Brewster was doing a live MSNBC shot from GulfPort when a white pickup truck pulled up behind him and a man jumped out and sprinted toward him. Take it, the wind was high and the man trying not to fall while he running toward him. Moments later, the man got in Brewster's face before he calmly ended the report. The man could be heard shouting at Brewster to report accurately. He probably been a follower of Fox News or something. I don't know. He used to not getting real report, but here it is. He's reporting about the storm. You're saying reporting accurately, and how much accurate can you be? He's out there in the storm. So the anchor that was back in the station, Craig Melvin said, hey, concerned anchor Craig Melvin said, we're going to check in on Shaq Brewster just to make sure all is well. There's a lot of crazy out there, a lot of crazy, because people do crazy things when they have their mindset on certain things, when they feel like what they heard is facts, and it's not. So I'm like, hey, it's crazy how people do that. And with this situation, Shaq Brewster did text out and said, appreciate the concern, guys. The team and I are all good. But I was reading through his tweets, and uh, now when I read the story initially, they said, the news anchors don't get them twisted, because you might want to try Jesus and not them, because they will defend themselves, which they have every right to. And but I was reading through his tweets, and he said a tweet that came, a text that came on the family group from his mom talking about, if my son get blown away out there, everybody gonna pay us something like that. And it was funny. And I said, shoot, that dude don't know who he was messing with. Because if his mama sending texts out like that, well, guess what? Apple don't fall far from the tree. So I don't know who the guy was, but the guy was very irate and approaching him while he's trying to do a live news broadcast, which is crazy. Radio said we have a federal election coming up, and for the first time, we now have an idiot trying to shut down campaign stops and causing security threat, thanks to the great orange clown. Is his hair orange also? And is he tweeting and sitting on the toilet? What is he doing? Because I knew it's going to rub off sooner or later. And that's crazy that y'all have to deal with it. It's crazy how that fool encourage people to do things like this. And the problem is, unfortunately, it may be some fools that's going to vote for him because they they had that Trump-itis. They just crazy about Trump, about the crazy things that he say and do. Um, so that's definitely keep us updated on that. I'm gonna have to try to follow that a little bit, because it's crazy how we get these clowns that influence people from doing the right thing, and then they turn around and they try to follow this clown. Well, you in a whole different country, um, and Canada don't really play, so you might want to chill. It's causing security threats. I don't know. How are they taking that up on security threat? How are they dealing with it? Because I'm just kind of curious. Do we had a 10 in a can also, or what's going on with them? Because uh, radio said this has never happened here before. This is new. When you read the comments on the article, it's the same post the Trumpers made. Man, y'all in trouble. That's all I can say. Because if they making the same comments, yeah, y'all in trouble up there. Radio is out of Canada, so I guess y'all might see Trump there soon, trying to campaign for it. I'm just saying, I would not be surprised at all. Um, Trying to pull it up so I can see who this is. So I can uh, is that the Trudeau? French election or the after? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to pull that up, because I see where rally counts after angry protests, and yeah, sound like y'all have a fool on y'all hand. Um, there are idiots everywhere. It doesn't matter what country. They have been inspired by the action in the U.S. It's a virus. It's a virus, and we see how the COVID have spread all across this nation and all across this world. And now we had Trump in office, and it's going to be a lot of other places that never dealt with it that's going to feel the same way. I would not be surprised if he don't get an endorsement from Trump. That's all I'm saying. I would not be surprised at all. And hopefully enough people get out and vote to prevent this fool from being in office. Because if he win, it could cause a problem. Uh, it can cause a problem for Canada. And because if he win, well, guess what? You're gonna have other fools to do the same thing. So hopefully it's not. Hopefully y'all don't have the same issue that we have. Aaron O'Toole, leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, had a 27.2% approval rating, according to NATO's research survey released on Saturday. Yeah. Canada Federal Conservative Party has made recent gains compared with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Liberal recent polls show less than 2 weeks after Trudeau called an early election in a bid to get a primary majority, the Conservative leader by Aaron O'Toole were favored 33.3% of eligible voters, according to a tracking survey released on Saturday by NATO's research that was conducted for CTV News and the Globe and Mail newspaper. I'm like this, when it come down to election, be honest. A lot of them can't be honest because they know they're gonna lie to get in there. That's the only way they can win, if they lie. And acting immature is unfortunately, people are attracted to drama. Look at why. That's just like most TV shows that come on today are reality TVs, drama. That's the seller right now. And I'm sure if I went and did drama on the show, hell, our numbers would be way up. But at the same time, I gotta live with that. I gotta I have a conscience. Um, so a lot of people, that's what they want to do. Yeah, we may laugh and joke on the show, have fun, but just to dog people out, no. Well, in a sense, we kind of do. That's when we get your homeboy to come on, uh, Patrick come on and just want to put anything in the chat. So, um, but that's just being honest with him. He's a jerk. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to continue to keep a look at that. Um, um, Radio said they did a poll here back in November. They asked conservative voters who they would vote for in the U.S. election. 53% said they would vote Biden. People would lie because they don't want people to know exactly how they would vote. They don't know. That's why Trump's saying that the election is a fraud, because he has so many votes. And unfortunately, he didn't win. So he said it was a fraud. And that's the problem we have. He lied and said that our election was a fraud, and it wasn't. So that's what we're dealing with. You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm M, Who You With Kurt Dog. You can live chat with us in the chat room. And also, you can, if we're talking about something you want to speak your mind on, you can always call in. But it's a couple of rules, though. When you call in, please do not block your number. Please do not block it. I won't answer it. I get enough spam calls already. So so we definitely won't answer the phone on a blocked number. Radio said our conservative party here is nothing like the GOP in the U.S. Thankful. That's true. It's nothing like it now, but it can get worse. It can and will get worse. So it's definitely can get worse. And I want to definitely welcome everyone that is listening: Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, and the ones that's going to catch the show on Anchor.fm. You can also subscribe to Anchor FM. It's just a small fee of $2.99 a month, and support the show. Miss Risky and I are working on some things coming up here in the near future, and as soon as we get it set up, we're gonna do a lot more with the show. So due to the time I can record on Anchor, I'm gonna have to stop them and bring them back on. So Anchor, stand by for part 2, and but we'll keep the show going. So yeah, so due to the time on Anchor, they only allow me to record for 30 minutes from my home stream, and once it reached that 30 minutes, it cut off. So we do it like this to keep from because trying to upload shows on there, it can be pretty time consuming to do it, and it probably take about 15 minutes for each show that I upload. And that's what a fast internet. It's just their system is slow, and it also depends on how long the show is. So this is a little bit easier doing it. But I'm getting to the hang of it because I don't like to really stop, like to keep it rolling and go with that. So, but yeah, radio, I'm definitely gonna have to continue to pay attention to that and see what's going on because Trump, excuse me, Trump is a straight up virus. Anybody who he come into contact with, that's what he do. That's what he do. He doesn't care. Um, he would lie until the end. I could just imagine him when his day come at the pearly gates, and he's lying and saying he haven't crossed over yet. So, which is crazy because he would try to get his way out of that. That's just Trump within himself. Um, he's just that type of person. Okay, hold on. Trying to. Oh shit. Trying to get this done right. And I hate to. Okay, do this, but like I told y'all before, we are live, so there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scene. Um, and also, if y'all haven't uh, checked out Ruben song "Stand Up," definitely uh, check it out because it's definitely a good listen. For the simple fact that I did download it, and that song is dope. So definitely um, support the brother. It's only 99 cents to download it, and it's only 99 cents to download it. So that's pretty good. All right, we're back with welcome again to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt. We got Anchor FM back up. So so also what we're going to talk about too. This is very disturbing. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Oh yeah, Nikkita Brown. I've seen this video yesterday, and I was like, hey, let me find out more information about this because I don't want to put Chicago police on blast, and it wasn't a police officer, but also we like to report accurate things on this show, and um, so this video, I couldn't tell where it was, but it said it was at a park. I see a 18-wheeler, flatbed 18-wheeler in the parking lot, so I wasn't sure if it was at a business, at a truck stop, or where it was. But after watching the video, it's very disturbing, and I wish they would identify this officer and um, because come to find out it was a Chicago police officer. The video is very disturbing. Um, I'll post it later on my Facebook page. So so basically, black woman walking dog on the beach is handled aggressively by Chicago police. The officer is facing an investigation from the Citizen Office of Police Accountability. Basically, like the um, how most cities have citizen units that investigate the police, for they not investigating themselves. So the Citizen Office of Police Accountability has opened an investigation as a black woman walking her dog along the lakefront in the Lincoln Park neighborhood of Chicago. got into an altercation with a police officer at North Avenue Beach that was captured on cell phone video. The woman is identified as Nikkita Brown, according to ABC News 7. According to Brown's attorney, the altercation began after the cop asked her to leave the beach because it was closed. Looking at the video, the officer seemed threatening to arrest Brown if she doesn't leave the beach, but she appeared to be trying to leave. As the officer advanced toward her, she asked that he respect her face because of COVID-19 and he is not wearing a mask. The officer responded that he is outside, so he doesn't need one. He is seen advancing toward Brown and the dog for at least 20 seconds as they appeared to walk away. As the Chicago Tribune report, the cops seemed to be trying to take her phone away from her and then trying to restrain her arms. They start spinning around until he has her arm held behind her back and holds her in that position for a minute or so. He let her go and they both just walk away from each other. So, and it continued on. For some reason, this officer decided to specifically interact and then ultimately address and attack Miss Brown, said Kenyon Slaughter, the woman attorney. Slaughter said the incident was a brutal and unprovoked attack, adding that Brown was leaving the beach when the cop put his hands on her. She was always in the process of leaving, he said. She was always walking out of the park. At a Monday press conference, Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown addressed the video. What we do know is there was some closure on the beach. Apparently, that preceded this interaction. Superintendent Brown, which is Dallas Police former police chief, said, according to ABC News 7, that this is the extent of what we know. We don't have an arrest, apparently, by this officer, and don't fully understand because we have not interviewed this officer, and the COPA will be in charge of that interview. I believe COPA has reached out to the person you see in the video walking the dog that had a struggle with the officer. I believe they're initiating that conversation. And then from ABC News, Superintendent Brown said there is also video from the officer body camera. The superintendent also asked the public to withhold judgment until the Citizen Office of Police Accountability can complete its investigation. Once that's complete, Superintendent Brown can accept COPA's recommendation or make a different decision of his own that would be reviewed by the board. As COPA investigation, Brown can either relieve the officer of his police power or place him on administrative duties. He expected to decide after receiving another update on the investigation later Monday. Chicago Mayor Laura Lightfoot said in a tweet that I'm deeply concerned by what is dictated on the lakefront beach in that video. I'm aware of the incident and it is currently under investigation. So, with that being said, they did put the officer on a 30-day administration leave. No, administration duties. So he's on a desk job. But looking at this video, the video started with he walking behind her. She wasn't talking to him. She just leaving the beach area, walking her dog. And all of a sudden, I guess he said something, she stopped, and I guess that's when she said, hey, could you respect my face and put a mask on? And he got upset, tried to snatch her phone, which to me, Somebody trying to snatch your phone, that's attempted robbery. That's my opinion. Now, here it is. He tried to snatch her phone. You could hear the young lady streaming in the video. Then you could turn around, look like he had her in a headlock or something. And then all of a sudden, they just stood there for a minute. He let her go. He turned around and walked off. And not only turned around and walked off, she grabbed her phone and she walked off. And I'm like, I don't know what I just seen. That's why I was kind of like, hey, what is really going on? Is this a police officer or a security guard? And kind of find out today they did announce it was a police officer. Um, um, it was a police officer. And with all of that was going on, he turned around and left. Once you make an assault like that, either you're gonna arrest the person or you realize that you're doing wrong. Now, also in another story I've seen, um, the young lady also said that uh, there was other people. Oh, I guess I didn't read further down, but it was other people in that area that was uh, that was actually in that area, and oh no, it's not on this. That was in that area, like a group of four Caucasian people that was in that area, and he never approached them. He only targeted her, and the young lady having slept good at night, having nightmares, um, waking up streaming, and this is what we have to deal with as Black people. We have to deal with cops like this that for whatever reason just automatically assume when you see a Black person, they doing wrong. She's walking her dog. And shout out to the little dog. It was a small dog, like a poodle or something. And I couldn't tell in the video, but he was jumping on the officer's leg like he was trying to push him back. So the old dog, he was trying to protect his owner, but that particular breed, not really aggressive, but even the dog knew the cop was wrong. Basically, the dog knew what he was doing was wrong. He just out for his night stroll before he go in and go to bed. But this officer want to stop him. For what reason? None. Radio said, how does what should be routine tasks by police go so wrong? It's crazy. It's crazy. Because here it is. She wasn't doing anything wrong. She was walking to leave the beach. He told her to leave the beach. Okay, fine. Now, from what the video show, now maybe the body cam will show something different. I don't know. But what the video showed was she was leaving the beach. Now, it's amazing. Whenever we talk about stories like this, first thing a lot of people say was they should have followed the police order. They should have followed the police order. Well, a lot of them do follow the police order, but because of the history of the police, of certain, let me rephrase that, history of certain police officers and their interaction with certain police officers are not always good. And it's normally with the white police officers. And that's the issue. So you cannot expect for someone just to say, oh, I'm going to follow what they tell me to do and think everything is going to be okay. We've seen so many people being killed by the police that have followed the order, and that wasn't good enough. But I guess it's two sides of it. We say it all the time. It's laws for black folks, it's laws for white folks. And unfortunately, when it comes down to black folks, it doesn't make a difference if we follow the law or not. It really does not matter. If that cop wanna violate your rights, they would do that. And then they will blame you for them violating your rights. So that's what we need to change. And then kind of like, and I keep saying it, January 6th. Okay, why they didn't follow what the officer was saying? They should have had enough sense not to run into Capitol Hill. But hey, each his own. I guess that was their rights. That was their right. But this cop was wrong. And they should identify that cop. He should be identified and should be terminated without a doubt, because what he did was absolutely wrong. And it's no other way of putting it. He violated um, this young lady rights, and she was cooperating, but still, he thought he was just Big Bad Joe and wanna attack this sister that was walking away from him, doing what he said. And probably what he wanted her to do was turn around and um, react to him crazy. Now, this is the problem some of these folks gonna have. Um, Even some of these police officers, you running up on folks and then turning around, you expect for them to just, oh, do what I say, do what I say, but then you start attacking them, you're gonna mess around and run up on the wrong person, and they're gonna give you a 1-2 out. Uh, gonna give you a combination and knock you out real quick. You must remember you're still human. But if you come up attacking the wrong person like you did this young lady, because if she knew uh, karate or anything else, and if she would have used it on you, that would have been your fault. For the simple fact, you came up behind her attacking her. Matter of fact, I showed my wife the video, and my wife said, he looked like he could be trying to kidnap her or something. And the way he just walked away from her, it was like nothing happened. After after he tried to snatch her, after he held her, wrestled with her, he just let her go and turned around and walked away. After he assaulted this young lady, this sister, it's no other way of putting it. He did assault her. He did try to steal her cell phone, because that's what he reached for, was her cell phone. So attempted robbery. So this officer should be facing charges, and hopefully, uh, Superintendent David Brown do the right thing and charge this man. It's no other way of putting it. No other way of putting it. And then on top of that, go ahead and open up the checkbook, because it's going to cost y'all a little bit too. Hopefully a whole bunch. So that's my opinion about it, because the only way you're gonna get to these officers to let them know what you're doing is wrong, you gotta hit them where it hurt. That's why people talk about defunding police. I don't understand the reason why he even tried to attack her. She was walking away. She was walking away, and because she put a mask on. I might need to check the video, see if he was one of those on January 6th. Because he sound like he could have been one of those non-believers, one of those Trump followers. So, but yeah, I'm glad this worked out for the sister. She made it out okay, um, without getting injured or anything. Mentally, she did get injured, um, and that's a problem within itself. Because people can say all day long, well, that's not enough to cause mental illness. You don't know what caused it. You don't know what caused it. But being attacked by a police officer in this society today, hell, being approached by a police officer can cause you to be paranoid because you don't know where that cop mindset is. That cop mindset is not in the right place. Um, for him to do something like that, that's not good at all. And but hey, that's my opinion. But hey, you are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I am Who You With Kurt Dog. You can actually live chat with us also. What if it's a story that we talked about tonight, or if it's something else you wanna bring to our attention? You can definitely live chat with us. You can also call. The number is always strolling across the stream 972-591-3665, 972-591-3665. And you can live chat with us during the live show only. Um, and I express that because sometimes certain people, they will call me. If I play a replay, they'll call me about 10 to 15 times during the replay. And I'm asleep at that time. So, um, so it's kind of like, hey, but during the live show, that's fine. If it's something that you need for us to investigate, you can always text us, and I will respond back. Kind of like what I said yesterday, we are working on an update on another story. Um, had someone to text me Sunday morning, um, uh, talking about um, a story that we did earlier this year, and they wanted us to do an update on it. And I actually talked to the guy yesterday, and he gave us a lot of good information about this story. So what we're trying to do is reach out, find out, get an update for we can discuss it, and um, and we want to put out the correct information. But I guess I spent about an hour on the phone with the guy yesterday, and uh, it was interesting. So we working on getting that together and trying to do it. Welcome to the show, all aboard. Said, hey, Kurt Dog in chat, speaking to everybody in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Come in with respect. Also, all aboard is out of Miami. Yeah, I seen where your governor is kind of upset right now because they knocked his mask mandate down for the schools too. And I believe he's still trying to withhold the school board and trying to withhold a pay or something. Um, but no matter where you're located, um, whatever state you're located, if your governor is anything like our governor, don't want to have a mask mandate because of his executive order, y'all need to vote them out because they're not for your best interest. And to talk about these, we know that this virus is affecting a lot of young people and a lot of people that is unvaccinated. Well, uh, the problem is with that is the fact that the kids and most kids cannot be vaccinated due to the fact that they not at that age where they can be. but you want them to just go free and just saying to the hell with them. If they live, they live, they die, they die. You don't care about your citizen. So we should not care about your election, and we should be voting you out. And that would be the best thing to do. Um, all the boys said I seen more people wearing their masks this week, actually, which that's good because there's a lot of people very concerned. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize it, until it affects home. When it affects someone close to you, then you want to be concerned. And um, that's that's one of the biggest issues about it. Welcome to the show, T-Cal. Oh, excuse me. So, hey, Kurt Dog, I've been listening, but since I'm in crazy traffic, I'm going to go ahead and say what up. Welcome. Thank you for always tuning in and being a part of the show, supporting the show. Uh, Radio said Governor Squeaky in Florida is at it. It's at it again. Yes, he's definitely at it. He's like a bully on the playground. He want to have his way, and he's talking about appealing that decision about the mask mandate. Why are you wasting our tax dollars? That's the question people should be asking them. Why wasting our tax dollar for these bogus lawsuits? And that's the issue. Kind of like Greg Abbott. He's he actually was able to get some bills passed, the voter suppression bill. Why? Why are you trying to do voter suppression in 2021? Because Trump lost? If you notice, you haven't heard him talk about this border wall in a while. He's supposed to have been raising money for it, kind of like Trump when he first got elected. Supposed to have been trying to have Mexico pay for the wall. You didn't hear nothing about it for 4 years. And Greg Abbott been in office long enough where he could have had that wall built if it was a big concern like they claim. Now, what Greg Abbott did do, and the court blocked it, he ordered the state troopers to pull over anybody who he felt like was illegal immigrants coming across the border and stop them because they the ones that causing the rise in COVID numbers. And then after the court blocked it, Dan Patrick, uh, they all need to go. He gonna come and say, "Oh, it's the black community that is that is causing COVID numbers to go up." See, when people want their way and they bullies, they allow their true feelings and colors to come up. To be honest with you, all of them are some racist bastards, and they need to be out of office. Never should have been in there. So yeah, it's time for them to go. It's time for them to go. Um, Dan Patrick, um, Greg Abbott, Ken Patson. It's time for all of them to go. And one other thing, in this case, I'm trying to find out some information because I hope I'm gonna just leave it at that because there's some information I'm not supposed to share about it. But I pray and hope Ken Patson don't have a damn thing to do with it. That's all I'm gonna say. Because if so, we gonna have a big issue. So, but we will see. The Senate doesn't even really govern. Hell, Greg Abbott don't either. He just trolled his way through his first term. Greg Abbott don't do nothing. He write executive orders, want people to enforce, want people to um, follow his order. But what are you doing? My thing is, and hold that thought, because my wife and I was talking the other day, and it's almost time for me to start another episode on Anchor. So I want to make sure they hear this too. So you are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm Who You With Kurt Dog. Want to welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, D Live as always in the house, including Anchor FM, where you can actually go and subscribe to the channel. You can catch all the shows. It's going to be times where we do shows strictly for Anchor. So you can subscribe to be able to get those shows. And we're getting ready to start part 3 with Anchor. So Anchor, stand by. But it's some things that I have questions about. Um, and this is crazy. So as soon as I started back up, we would definitely get in on that part, and we'll talk about this because it's crazy. As long as Greg Abbott have been in government, and I said, well, I don't want to go too far, but T-Cal said, I hope too, because that's gonna tell us a whole bunch. If he have anything to do with it. So, but I will find out that information. I have more time tomorrow. The next 2 days, I had time to work on it. So hopefully Wednesday we will have that update on that story, which is pretty crazy, and need to find out some other things about this story too. So, but T-Cal, I know you said you're in traffic, so definitely be safe, because traffic been crazy today in Dallas. This morning on my way to work, it was like 35 shut down. The accident happened at 3 something this morning. At 7 something it's shut down. Oh, I'm gonna answer that in just a minute, radio. I'm gonna answer that because and then I'm gonna ask you that same question. Because to be honest with you, I feel like they run neck to neck. But uh, uh, with Slick Rick is what they called him here. Slick Rick Perry. They actually that's what they called him, Slick Rick. So so we're gonna talk about that, and I'm gonna ask you, who do you think is worse? Because I feel like they both are pretty. Neither one of them was good leaders. That's my opinion. Neither one of them are good leaders, and that's the way it is. I just feel like they was poor leaders. When it come down to it, they just basically poor leaders. So, all right. So hold on. You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm Who You With Kurt Dog. Welcome back, Anchor, for part 3. Welcome everyone that is listening on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, D Live, as always, in the house. So we had a couple of questions come in while we was getting Anchor set back up. Radio Chaos as who has been worse, Greg Abbott or Rick Perry? Well, here in Texas, we call Rick Perry Slick Rick. And for the simple fact, he was always slick about what he did. I wasn't following politics that much, but I didn't like his policy. I didn't vote for him either. But this is one question I have. I was talking with my wife over the weekend. Now in Texas, I remember a couple of months ago, we was talking about we possibly could get casinos in Texas. We have them in Oklahoma. We have them in Louisiana. Now, we do have one casino down near the border, Eagle Pass, Texas. There's a casino there. That's the only casino in Texas. And my question is, why are we allowing money to leave the state of Texas to go to Oklahoma and Louisiana, while we cannot compete with them? So, with that being said, my wife, she said, "Baby, we have a poker house here." I'm like, "Yeah, been here for probably about a year now, or a little bit over a year." So we have a legal poker house here in Texas, but we can't get a legal casino here in Texas. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, with the casino, it have to be off the water. Well, guess what? Eagle Pass is not on the water. It's the fact of, and I've always felt this way. I always felt somebody had the hand in the cookie jar. Um, and what I mean about that, I think some politicians making money on not getting the casinos here, because here it is, tax revenue that is going to other states, but you don't want to keep it in your own state. That throws up a red flag. So, and radio, I know I said I was going to ask you the question: who do you think is worse, Abbott or Rick Perry? Because both of them had the opportunity of bringing casinos here. Neither one of them done it. Now, the deal is with that. Why are you allowing all this money to leave the state of Texas? And 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 I remember seeing uh, one year I was in Streetport uh, back in the days. Used to go there quite a bit, and just so happened they had the Black Mayor Associate conference or something in Streetport, and the mayor at the time was Mayor Ron Miller, and I seen him, and he wasn't gambling, nothing like that. He was just walking through, and he said, "I had to come in here and see where all our tax dollars going," because now they had the conference at the casino. So, but he said when he pulled up in the parking lot, he seen all these Texas license plate, and he's like, "This should be money coming into the state, but instead it's going out." So the thing is, why are we allowing this money to leave the state of Texas? Why? But they did open up a legal poker house. They did do that. So you open up a legal poker house, but won't um, but you won't open up a casino. Everybody don't play poker. Everybody do not play poker. Now I know, I would assume, I don't know if they gamble or not, but shoot, knowing them, they probably roll up and um, play poker, whatever. But that's one of those situations where a lot of people do not play poker, but you don't want to bring a casino here. You prefer to let the money go to another state. And I must admit, it's no way you have to really win big if you go to Oklahoma. Because if you play in the cards, you're going to pay a fee every hand. I think last time I went, it's like 50 cents a hand. If you're playing blackjack or three card poker, It's 50 cents a hen. They said that's for the school board or something, for the independent school district of Oklahoma. But I remember a couple of years ago, Oklahoma was struggling. Uh, they schools were struggling. I'm like, as much money as y'all making off that something wrong with that picture. So I'm just saying, there's something not right in that picture. Somebody got their hands in the cookie jar. Now, also, when Lone Star Park was in bankruptcy, I can't remember which tribe it was, but they said the only way we will get them out of bankruptcy if we can open up a casino. That been, shoot, probably almost 10 years ago. Still waiting. I'm just saying, something not right about that. Um, Radio asks, who's worse, the son of Rick Scott? Did she answer that? No, she haven't. Um, Radio said, I think the guitarist Joe Perry from Aerosmith would have done a better job than Rick Perry. I think anybody would have. Well, let me take that back. I don't think anybody would have. I think a third grade child would have, because neither one of them really done much, in my opinion. Haven't done nothing to show where they made a difference in Texas. And Radio said, for a man in wheelchair, it's surprising how little empathy Abbott seemed to have. Abbott don't care about nobody but himself. That's all he care about, and his supporters. That's the only people he care about: his supporters and himself. Rick Perry, Slick Rick, and kind of like Rick Perry, when he gave up the seat, what he tried to do? He tried to come back and run for president. Didn't go nowhere. Didn't go nowhere. So that's what it's all about. Trying to build up your resume to get to a higher position. But the way that you're trying to build it up is the wrong way of doing it, because you're doing wrong by the citizen of Texas, and only a fool will vote for you. And I'm not no fool because mama didn't raise no fool. I might act like a fool there once in a while, but she didn't raise no fool. So, but that's my opinion of it. I think any one of these governors that in a right sense of mind, not wanting kids to wear a mask in school, knowing that everybody's immune system is not the same. You're pushing these laws because you don't have kids in the school for those ages. And 9 times out of 10, even though it's an age limit on kids getting vaccinated, you're in a position where you and your family, is okay. They're going to get the same benefits as you, but you don't want to protect the community. You want them to open everything wide open. But that wasn't on the show tonight. That was extra. Radio brought that up about Slick Rick and Abbott. But way I see it, it's time for us to clean house. It's time for Texas to clean house. I say it all the time. If you're not registered, this is the time to get registered to vote. Get registered to vote for when the election come up. You don't have to try to get ready then. Look at several things. If you have moved, update your voter registration card. Update it. Don't wait until the last minute, because during the election, in November, as I went around and gave out snacks and stuff and water, a lot of people was being turned away because they moved from a different county, and you're trying to vote in Dallas County. And they like, unfortunately, you can't. You have to go back to their regular county. Well, it's people that move here from out of state. Um, that moved here from out of state that actually said, um, well, I was registered back in Georgia, but have you got registered here? They're like, no, I just moved here 3 months ago. Get registered. Get registered. Once you change your license over, get registered. Because when election time comes, it's not a guarantee you're going to be able to make it back to where you moved from. Just like a church home. Find your church home that's going to feed you spiritually. And that is making a change. If you're in the DFW, Friendship West Baptist Church, Dr. Frederick D. Haynes III. Changed my life. Definitely changed mine. But it's each its own. Find you somewhere where you can be spiritually fed. Radio said better nickname Rick the yeah. All aboard. Oh, she came back. Said I have so many opinion on that radio. We got about 17 minutes. So, well, about 15 minutes. Let us know your opinion. Who do you think is better? Hell, if you don't think neither one of them is better, just say neither one of them. Either way. So, so as always, okay, thought that was something else, but yeah, the leaders today that are in these states that want to go against the advice of doctors and all of that. I'm like this, and I see these videos all the time saying, oh, they tell you this, they tell you that. But look, right now, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We don't know what to do. We don't know enough about it. The best thing we could do is CYE. Let me help you out in case some of them don't know. Cover your ass. Um, so, regardless of what people have said about this virus, you have to do what's best for you and your family. Now, I glanced at the story that Radio Your Homeboy talked about, and I just seen the title and I just kept moving. Rand Paul. Rand Paul talking about why they won't use horse vaccine. I think I almost threw my phone down when I seen it. And now he want to be a doctor or a scientist. But you also one of the ones that sided with Trump. You go against everything what they say. I've heard I've seen a story. It was somewhere in Texas. This young man didn't believe in COVID, felt like he could beat it, waited too late to go to the hospital to get help. He took aspirin and something else that uh, that either Trump or one of those supporters recommend taking some type of not over the bleach, over the counter um, medication that's supposed to cure it or something. I forgot what medication it was, but when he finally went to the hospital, he was too far gone. It was too bad. Um, I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that. It was something else with an I. I think it started with I something. I can't remember the name of it. Um, but um, so I'm like, really? So the guy ended up passing away, unfortunately, and because he didn't believe the virus was real, he did not believe it. Um, uh, no, we're not going to recommend them using bleach. I didn't read your comment. Yeah, we're not going to recommend that. That sound like Trump. Uh, Radio said horse dewormer, hilarious. They won't take the vaccine, but they will take a chance with medication not designed for their species. Yeah, uh, I want to say that's it. I'm not quite sure, but I want to say that's the name of it. He was taking that aspirin and something else he was taking, but I was like, "You're taking that," and I forgot what it was used for. Um, Let me see, because it was used for something else, and I was like, no. Um, I wouldn't have been taking it, but that's what he heard he should take for it. Um, uh, oh yeah, the man surged though it doesn't work for COVID-19. Then they have a Ivermax. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. Yeah, that's it. Um, so it's people are looking at doing this and trying this, but you won't take the vaccine. Like I said, it's your choice if you take it or not. It don't really affect me now. Not unless you get up on me, then it'll be a 1-2 knockout. Um, but yeah, I don't understand that. You prefer to take horse dewormer instead of trying to take something that may or may not help you, that been tested. And right now, due to the fact that um, a lot of people are um, actually getting that had the vaccine is actually surviving this. And you prefer to take a dewormer for horses? I'm like, cool. All the boys said I own a pet store last year. People were coming in asking for the stuff we put in fish tank. Yep, that's what Trump told them because Trump mentioned hydrochloroquine. Yeah, Trump sure did tell them to take it. That's what he told them, and it was a couple of people that died. It was one person, a husband and wife took it. I think the husband passed away from it or something, and I can't remember about the wife. But yeah, that's what Trump said. They can't even handle the mask, but they will take their chance with this. Oh, yeah, you talking. Yeah, that's crazy. They can't handle the mask, but they will take a chance with this horse dewormer, which is not good. They think my pillow guy knows more than the world's doctor. I'm like this. Now I seen this video and I need to go back and try to find it. Uh, which I had some concerns about. I'm not gonna bring it up yet, but I had questions about it. So I'm gonna try to find it tomorrow. And if I can find it, then I'll break it down, make sure I heard it right. Because if I did not hear it right, I don't want to talk about it. But I believe I know what I heard. So um, yeah, that's crazy. So all aboard. Do you still own a pet store? And what type of pets do you own? Like different type of pets, or pet- are certain types? Um, just kind of curious. Kind of what you have out there. I know you're in Florida, so you probably got baby shorts and a little bit of everything coming out of there. Baby alligators. Uh, oh Lord, my pillow got changed today again. Trump is coming back in office in the new year, and if people still believe that, they need to be checked into a hospital. He need to be checked into it. If he's still putting this out and people still believing what he's saying, they are all sick, very sick. There's no way Trump is coming back into office. Um, okay. Had a little bit of everything. Yeah. Um, Paradise reps. You can keep the reptiles. There's nothing I can do with those. um, but yeah, I said I want to give me a fish tank again. I love saltwater fish. So I might, I had one over 20 years ago and it was pretty good. I had it for several years, but I'm thinking about getting me another one. I just have to wait and see. It's cheaper to operate those than it is a dog. Because dog, if you, well, right now we're not traveling, but if we did travel, that get expensive. You paying for a kennel like you paying for a hotel. You can spend $300 or $400 for a weekend to put a dog up. Uh, you can't write this stuff. If somebody told you things would be like this 10 years ago, you'd say they was crazy. Exactly. A lot of people is crazy. They're gonna believe what they want to believe, but do your research. Do your research. All the non-believer, I'm like, hey, do you, do you? Don't try to force it on somebody. Do you? And I don't know. I know all aboard. You probably heard about this. We got about uh, 3.5 minutes left. I'm gonna just briefly talk about it. The guy at the Miami airport the other day that had they said they believe he was on drugs or alcohol or something. I don't know. But apparently he got into it with his girlfriend and they wouldn't let him on the plane because of his aggressiveness. He went on a rampage and used racial slurs and throwing stuff. And in the video, they asked him, "Where's the police at?" And this went on for a while. I think he either pushed or tried to swing at the guy. And um, and then the guy ended up falling. Then the video went off. Now I know he was arrested. And one story I read said he was taken to the hospital for a mental check. Um, but everybody else was saying that it was he was either drunk or on drugs or something. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to update that story tomorrow because I lost the article I was reading, and it did have his name in there. But instead of, and I don't know if he had a mental issue or not, but either way, the way they wrote the story, like, oh, he had a mental breakdown. Uh, Probably because his girlfriend was tired of his mess, but that ain't none of my business. Um, uh, uh, Instead of don't drink the Kool-Aid, we gotta say don't drink the fish tank clean. Exactly, because that's what they doing, drinking the fish tank cleaner. T Cow said, where the popos? Exactly, because That went on a pretty long time. The guy threw a one of those stands for uh, to keep people from cutting in line, threw one of those and kicked the wet floor sign, all type of stuff. He was on one that day. Uh, then all the boys said, that's nice of them because I remember them beating that old Asian doctor bloody and dragging him off the plane. Damn. I didn't hear about that one. Wait a minute, I did. I did too hear about that one. That was a couple of years ago. Last year, or the year before or something. She said hashtag in Asian hate, hashtag in all hate, in it all, because we shouldn't have hate the way that we do in this world. And unfortunately, a lot of people have hate built in their heart, um, because they was raised by hate. And then I seen this video over the weekend, and I cannot remember the guy's name, but the guy, it was at some type of rally, um, may been a BLM rally or some type of rally he was at, but he mentioned he grew up in a racist home, and his family hate him today because he don't follow their leads. Yeah, let that marinate. Um, you have been listening to um, Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I am Who You With Kurt Dog. If you are dealing with mental illness, and you can always uh, you can always turn around and get help. If you work, go to your HR. If your spouse work, have them to go to the HR and ask about the EAP program. You can get free help. Uh, the Employee Assistant Program can provide good help for you, where you and your family can get counseling, um, can get counseling for free. You, your spouse, and your kids can get counseling for free, and you can also won't cost you a thing. So definitely take advantage of it. Go to your HR and say, "Hey, I'm struggling. I need some help. I definitely need some help." Um, you are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. Um, I want to thank Anchor for listening. We will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. And see you then. So, all right, I had to close out Anchor because the time was running out. But yeah, definitely go to your HR and ask for help. Ask about the EAP program, Employee Assistant Program. They can provide counseling for you for free. It won't cost you a thing. It could be either telehealth or it could be a section with a counselor in their office. And one good thing about a counselor, I know when I started taking counseling, I was like, hey, um, I needed to go, but I was one of those type of people going there where Black folks don't do counseling. And got in there, and for the first two sessions, I just looked at them. And as I looked at them, I'm like, that third session, I was in tears, and we had a breakthrough. So it do work. I've been taking it since 2018, and it's a wonderful thing. So definitely, if you need counseling, go to your HR. Ask about the Employee Assistant Program, EAP. Look in your handbook. It should be something in there about it, and take advantage of it. So I had a lot of comments to come in. I'm gonna run through them real quick. If it's the same instance you're talking about, we didn't have to get beat down, but he didn't do right. Uh, Not sure which one you're talking about, TCal, but I have to look at. Radio said, "Have a good night, all. Gotta go." All right, Radio. Appreciate you for supporting. All the boys said, well, they didn't get a hashtag and a law about it until they got a few viral clips during COVID. I wonder why. Well, I feel like any hate is bad, but my thing is about that they was been so quick to sign a law for Asian hate, and black folks been dealing with hate for over 400 years, and they refuse to sign a law that will protect black folks. Because if we had a law in to prevent hate from hate being done to any race, we wouldn't have all these police killing and just killings. So it's not about the race. It's about the fact that it should not take a certain race where they decide to sign a law very quick. Instead, they should have a law to prevent hate for everybody. And then from there, protect the black folks, because even today, black folks are still being targeted. Um, that's why that guy in GulfPort, Mississippi, came out and charged Shaq Brewster doing a live news report for MSNBC this morning while reporting on Hurricane Ida. And the guy got up in his face, parked his truck, run up and get up in his face, and the cameraman face talking about report accurate and all of this. How much accurate do you need to be if you was out in the storm, you seen the storm, but nothing, you act like he out here saying this the storm wasn't that bad. Where they showing the damages, talking about the damages and everything they experienced during the storm. Your accuracy may not be theirs. So it that was a hateful thing to do. Um, so we need laws to protect everybody from being racial profile and hate. And unfortunately, when it's dealing with cops, kind of like Nikkita Brown, that was a hateful thing. It was other people around, but he just targeted her as she was walking away. So that's a hateful crime that should be addressed, and he should lose his job. He should be charged with attempted robbery. He should be charged with assault because, as my wife said, it seemed like he was trying to kidnap her. So yeah, it when it comes down to laws for hate, it should be across the board. It should not just be a particular race. And black folks been dealing with hatred for well over 400 years, and we're still dealing with it. So yeah, that's all I'm saying about it. So um, everybody may have a different opinion about it, but it should be a equal law for everybody. And just like if it was a white person being racial profiled by a different race, they should have justice also. So it shouldn't be Asian hate law. It should be a hate law to cover everybody. Um, so said I mainly just worry about black rights. TBH, it seems like they have their stuff under control. Um, who had their stuff under control? Talking about blacks or Asian? I don't know if you're still on, but either way, it should not be hate against no one. That's the way it should be. It should not be hate against anyone. Um, so oh yeah, the other groups, yeah. It that law should cover everybody. And that law came that law was passed within a couple of days. Uh, within a couple of days, they passed that law. But here it is, when our elected officials here in Texas left and went to Washington while they was working on trying to get the John Lewis bill for voter suppression signed, and they're still fighting to do that. I believe it passed the House, but it's not in law yet, and it may not make law. So why should we have to fight to try to keep voter suppression down? That should not be anything we have to deal with in 2021. All because a clown did not win, they want to do this. They want to try to do voter suppression. We did the show about the young lady that was teaching um, the Republican how to win the election, how to do voter suppression before anybody know and change the laws. Let's start an investigation about that, because Georgia was one of them, and they was one of the first ones that did it. And it was another state in the Midwest. I can't remember which one it was, but they did it before people noticed. Texas tried to do it, but they recently just passed it. So why are people trying to do voter suppression in 2021? That shouldn't be happening. All because a clown did not win. And I'm gonna get off here because we could go another couple of hours, and I'm not gonna do that tonight. We'll pick this up tomorrow. We'll talk about the bills that are going into effect in Texas on September the 1st, which is uh, here shortly, a couple of days away. Um, it's going to be a couple of days away. So a couple of bills going into order, and it's we need to know about it. The gun law is going to go into effect, where anybody can carry guns over the age of 18. So that's going to go in. They can carry a gun without having license to carry. I believe you have to be 21. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. 21. Um, just like the abortion law. Yeah, where they making it where anybody can sue anybody who provide abortion. See, that's a whole nother show. Yeah. So it's a several things we're going to talk about tomorrow that's dealing with the laws that's coming into effect on the 1st of September. That's why we need to get out and vote. So you have been listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I am Who You With Kurt Dog. Continue whatever platform you own. Please like, subscribe, and click the notification for whenever we come on live. You can actually be a part of the show. So until tomorrow night, if the good Lord say the same, I love each and every one of you. And everybody is welcome here. We may not all have the same opinion, and that's cool. That's cool. Everybody is welcome here. That's why Marcella Smith called this the People Show, because everybody is welcome. Everybody have their own opinion. And I want to know everybody's opinion. You may not agree with me, that's fine. Yeah, I may not agree with you, that's fine. But we can always have a dialogue and communicate about everything. So until tomorrow night, we'll talk about the laws that's coming into effect on September the 1st. Until then, I love each and every one of you. Peace.